My name is Joshua Ikeye. I'm a creative director.
My name is Oluwaseyi Samuel. I'm an artist, music producer. I'm also a cast director.
I've worked with a couple of brands to help create good content that would help sell the brand on a visual level.
This is Inventive Dimension.
This is Inventive Dimension.
This is me at my last birthday. These days, running a business makes you look older than your age. From setting up to balancing the books, let's not even talk about chasing payments, tracking sales and expenses. Stress all the way.
And ever since I let the Kuda business app do the hard work for me, look who's aging backwards. My business is growing and I'm glowing. If you're a business owner like me, Kuda Business can help.
Switch to Kuda Business to register your business, create invoices, receive payments, make bill payments, manage your team, and free up time for the rest of your life.
So this is cheers to enjoying more of life as a baby girl.
Digital advertising has a huge part to play in the world of advertising because you cannot take away. In previous days, in old days, advertising has revolutionized and how we have moved from the way we share flyers in the olden days. Even people still do it now and moved online. So the place of digital advertising or digital marketing cannot be overemphasized, and how every day brands, companies try as much as possible to create compelling video content to make sure that they are seen in the right light by their audiences.
Yeah, my initial impression, it was quite dull. I was still trying to figure out what story they were trying to tell. I did not even know it was actually Kuda. Because from the voiceover, I was like, okay, what are they trying to? Are they trying to advertise a skincare product? Then later I saw the touch of as per color, I saw touch of yellow on the lady's dress and every other person, the lady at the back and also the guy that came in. So I was thinking maybe it's the MTN line or something as per maybe another, I don't want to call another brand that uses yellow. So it was quite dull, but it took a while before I was able to understand that, oh, this is what this app is actually saying.
All right, let's break it down. From the beginning, I felt like the ad somehow misled me from the beginning. All right, now if you watch the ad from the beginning, it opens with a lady that is actually lamenting on how she had a lot of she was burdened with a lot of expenses, trying to handle her businesses and all those things, and it was weighing on her physically. That was good. All right, the storyline was good, but they did not put in mind the colors, because I feel like somehow colors has a huge part to play in sending a message across. Now, if you watch some brands, I don't want to mention other brands' name, but if you watch some brands, when you see those colors, you know that this color, you immediately start watching, you know that it's this brand. If you see a lot of yellow in a particular brand, it's MTN. If you see a lot of so you resonate, you attribute some colors to a particular brand. This advert opened up with this lady having a conversation. She was wearing a yellow shirt, a yellow gown, and then the lady at her back was also wearing a top and a trouser. The top also had yellow on it. Another guy came to give her something, I think something to sign on, and the guy was also wearing yellow. So what you are trying to tell me is, with all this consistent show of this particular color, my mind was telling me it's MTN. So I feel like to that extent it was a bit misleading. But in general, in breaking it down, they did a pretty good job. But in passing the message of what the brand is supposed to pass, I feel in that light they misled me, and I feel like they'll mislead a lot of people too.
It does, because target audience is actually entrepreneurs and business owners. These days, everybody's actually owning one business or the other. Like, you meet the normal youths now, they tell you that I'm a photographer, I sell shoes, I sell this, I sell that. So everybody's actually everybody can actually connect to this app, because from the lady, they showed another guy that was actually a cook. They showed another girl that is a photographer, something like that. So it reached out to its audience very, very well.
You all know that Kuda is an app that helps you, maybe manage, and this is in general. Kuda is an app that helps you maybe manage funds, save, and all those things. Now they are opening another aspect of Kuda, which is Kuda business. Now I feel to a large extent that it was able to hit the preferred target audience. It was able to hit that, because I mean, people that would use Kuda business are obviously business owners. All right, you have a business, you are struggling with invoices, funds, you are employing somebody, and the person is maybe giving you issues. All those things you are carrying on your head, and you just need a platform to help sort that out. So I think to a large extent, it actually portrayed that in the video ad. And so I also feel too, to a large extent, I was also able to fit that into its target audience, because knowing fully well that these days a lot of young people are starting businesses. Even if you open your WhatsApp now, you would see everybody has a business on their WhatsApp. So almost everyone is selling these days. So I feel like they are trying to target the young audiences, and that is working well with how they portrayed this video ad.
I like the soundtrack of this ad, and as per voiceover, I still like the story they're telling. But as per location, I don't seem to like the fact that they're using the same location. They use like 3 different locations. They use the ladies' shop, they use the cook's shop, and they use the old photographer's shop. So I don't really like the fact they're just using just few. But it's still good to just keep it simple and just keep it like just 1, 2, 3. But at least let there be a change. There's a change. I'll still commend the art director. There's a change in the way our business was as per the year before and the year after our birthday. So, but still, I still want them to like, okay, the change should be actually very, 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 should just be more a bit to show that okay, the app does a lot to your business.
Every brand there's something called brand identity. All right, so it's not just the logo and everything that has to do. It has to also do with the color and how you want. Yeah, it also has to do with the color and the feel, of the brand. When someone is watching, what feel do you portray in your content, in your video, either videos or pictures or what have you. So when you see a Kuda ad, most of the time I feel with all the Kuda graphics or basically graphics that I have seen, they always have this touch of either purple or green, to it, a mixture of purple and green, but mostly green, but a mixture of purple and green. So they always have that in it. So I feel like they changed and had it in the previous part of the video, when the lady came out and she was now using the Kuda app, and she had a good success story to tell. She was wearing a purple and green gown and all those things. But I feel like it should have lasted from the beginning to the end of the video ad.
The fact that they were able to change the color yellow, which I actually saw before to the brand's color. So that one is one. And the fact that, okay, every other person at the background was looking lively like they were last year, but they were looking more happy, like, okay. And still, I think that's just it.
Storytelling. The storytelling was key, and I feel like these days, brands are now picking up this storytelling format, and I think it's working for them, and I feel stories can never go old. Stories can never go old. Still 20 years to come, 30 years to come, stories will still be something that we can use to, sell anything basically. So the storytelling in this particular video ad was actually good, spot on the money. They did a very good job with that, and also how they represented the brand color and identity, with some specific things, like the gown she was wearing at the later part, the purple and green. I feel just all those subtle things that were noted here and there was one of all those things I feel sold the brand. And then at the end, they now introduced motion graphics, to also best sell the business, and what they were trying to pass across to us. So I think they did well with that. I would break it down. All right, we'll start from the location. The location was not bad. So I think I'll give the location an 8. All right, so because everything that was in the location had a story to tell. She was in front of the camera. There was a shot where there were papers on the table. Someone was thinking, how do I do this? That feel, that's serenity was actually planned out well. They're now showing at the end of the day, towards the end of the video, now showing the proper business, the shop or the store where she is, and how everything had changed, how she was actually maybe having like a get together or an opening or something with friends and family and all those things. So I feel like for the location, it was spot on the money. They hit the nail on the head. And I also feel they also had a bit of props too, with the cake that they introduced, also stating that she was 25 at some point, and then a year later when she was 26, you could see the improvement. So some other props that were there was the lighting. The lighting also had a huge part to play, because it gave it, from the beginning you feel the very warm feel, and that warm feel just shows you that this person is. So when we have that warm feel, especially in cinematography, it's telling you a particular story. It's supposed to depict something to you. That is, if that person is either not comfortable or too comfortable in that particular shot. All right, so in the description of this now, it means that this person was not comfortable in the situation because she had bills, she was trying to sort out invoice and all those things. So all in all, I'll give the preparation, the production, the location, the props, the production design and everything altogether, I think I'll give it a 7. The visual elements, I can say, actually aligned, but as I explained before, from the beginning of the video, I felt a little bit of derail, if I should put it that way. But to an extent, I feel like the visual elements aligned with it, because they now use, as I said, they use voiceovers, they use motion graphics, and then they even use pop-up text that was popping up on the, like, pop-up text on the phone that was actually tracking the phone. So all those little details actually had a huge part to play, in passing the message across. So the beginning part, I felt they kind of misled me a bit, but watching it to the end, I felt like, okay, they made up for the loss. So yeah.
Yeah, the intended call to action is actually to to rely on them as per them planning your business better, and they were able to actually explain very well, because after the old story and before the last scene, after the old story, they use video effects to actually show what the things the ad can do. The ad can do this, the ad can do that. So it was actually very nice. At least people can be able to relate to, okay, this ad does this and the other thing, or the other things like my bills and my things like that. So
So to a large extent, I feel like the ad was able to pass the intended message. All right, and the call to action was, I feel the call to action was for them, for viewers, for listeners, for people that see the ad to be able to subscribe to the application, download it and use it, for people that have businesses to be able to use it as a day-to-day application to run their business or to help them run their business. But I also feel that it could have been better. They could have made it a little bit better. They could have. There are more creative ways to do it. They did it well, but I just feel like there are more creative ways to do it. So it could have been better, and they did a very good job in passing that message to download the app to use the business. But just a little bit more of creativity would have had a huge part to play.
Habits are formed when a person does something repeatedly, consistently, intentionally, until it is no longer just intentional. It is second nature. The best habits are ones that make us better people, better for ourselves, for others, and for our future. And sometimes all we need is a consistent push to make us do what we know we need to do. And when it comes to unlocking financial freedom, that push has a name: PiggyVest.
Beauty, love, and savings, because I feel like this ad took me on a journey. First impression, I was smiling because it took me on a journey. So there was something I was talking to someone, and there was something I wanted to mention. Stories are supposed to okay, so when people want to sell to you, all right, there's something a very popular scholar told me, and it says, show, don't tell. That is, no matter what you want to do, try to show. All right, instead of telling me this thing is very effective, show me that it is very effective. Instead of telling me this biro works well, you want to sell a biro to me, and you say this biro works very well, show me that it works very well. If you're telling me that this energy drink it will give you strength, show me that it will give you strength. Don't just tell me. So a lot of adverts that we see these days, they just talk without showing, and I feel like this particular ad just did the perfect job. It showed us, it took us on a journey, showed us how the ad was supposed to portray it's supposed to portray PiggyVest as an application that helps you invest and save. And they showed us through a process. They took us on a journey, a 5-year journey, in a 1-minute video, and showed us how the app was able to, or how the brand was able to show that this app is what we need to be able to save. You want to save, this is the app you need. You're saving for your marriage, this is the app you need. You're saving for your rent, this is the app that you need. They showed us all those things through the video content. So I think that on a glance, they did a very good job with this.
Yeah, true visual elements, you can actually see everywhere is popping as per the color they're choosing. I mentioned that in the previous question. The color they are choosing, and everything per se is just giving these little details as per the voiceover. That's also another thing there. As per being a sound producer, you should actually take note of each sound or soundtrack every advert uses, because that's what catches the audience attention.
People want to save, yeah, and a lot of people that want to save are maybe young people, because they want to save for the future, or they want to save to buy something, and then they took us to how a natural Gen Z lives his life. Obviously, we know that everyone wants to find love, everyone wants to find that perfect person, and then they use that angle to bring it in, and then they sold it so perfectly well, because it started with how a guy had a crush on a lady, and then went to give her a love letter, and all those things, and before you know it, they started dating, and then after a while they started planning their wedding. So it just showed them, when they now infused the app into it by showing that they now had to save to plan for their wedding, a 5-year save, so it just showed us, infuse the app subtly, in the way they are sharing the story, in the way they told the story, and I feel like that was just perfect, and how the visual element came to play, opening the scene when the guy walked into the lecture hall, dropped the paper on our table. She looked back. It just took us on a journey, basically. Show them, started dating. They showed them during NYSC, all those things. Also show them the saving was still going on during all those processes. Even showed when the father of the man, of the young man in question, had an issue, with his rent. Oh no, he had an issue. They were trying to lay them off from work or something, and then he helped him. Sent about 1 million naira into his account. So it just showed that you can save even for immediate purposes, even for what's the word now? Even for unforeseen circumstances that just pop up, you can be able to use your savings to fend for all those things. So I feel like they told the story with the visual representation perfectly well.
Yeah, I'd give it a 8 because, as I said before, I've worked with many advertising firms like Lucid. So it's just like a story. It's a process, because there was one thing that caught my attention as per the guy. There was this sign of growth with his beards. I'd actually give a thumbs up to the special effects director, because his beards was actually like, from the 5 years, was actually from the first year, second year, third year, was just still a small beard, and the third year to fourth year when he proposed, it was just like was actually very, very nice. So the sound, the what is it called, the special effects director, I'll give a thumbs up to the person, whoever the person is.
It perfectly resonates with the target audience, and looking at how majority of the target audience are the youths, are Gen Zs, are millennials, people that actually are maybe new to work, or they're probably in school, or just started working, or are working, so I feel like the ad was spot on the money. The ad had the ad had a huge part to play, in passing the message across to the preferred target audience, because the target audience, of course, are youths and young people that want to save. You want to maybe buy something in the future. You want to what do people save for these days now? You want to buy a shoe. Do people save for shoe these days? Or you want to buy or you want to rent an apartment? Yes, you're becoming a big boy, or you just left your parents, staying with your parents, and you want to rent an apartment. You need to save. This is an avenue. So all those, they just helped people that are young see opportunities, see reasons to use the brand, because they actually, another reason why I think that they resonate with the target audience is because they use young people throughout. Only once or twice that they infused an elderly person, and that's because he needed to help his father with some of all those things. So it just shows that the brand was specifically for a particular kind of people, that is the young people, the youth, and they sold that perfectly well with this ad.
Yeah, cinematography, starting from the first scene where they're taking their overhead shots, the drone shot was actually very nice, because just like from the beginning, when they're actually going for class, he has been seeing her per se. So dropping the letter is actually telling a story normally. So, and the colors they pick is actually, they're picking popping colors, and actually give them a thumbs up for that. So it's just too cool.
It's good because I feel the ad touched on major areas that I feel a lot of video content or a lot of video ads these days they just overlook. I feel like the ad touched on a lot of aspects that a lot of video ads these days overlook. Now, at the beginning, I talked about the story and how they told us a story from the beginning to the end. Now, let's talk about the locations that they use. They opened in a lecture hall, and the lecture hall had a lot of students in it. Just gave us a feel. Any student that's watching it can be able to resonate with what is happening there, because they know how it happens in lecture hall. In fact, they even know how it is when a guy wants to go and talk to a girl in the lecture hall. Some people will hide, some people will call the girl out, some people will just drop paper, some people will tell the friend to tell the girl. You people know how these things go, so it would resonate with the target audience for the brand a lot, because after the lecture hall, they talked about how the lady was in a hostel. The guy sent a gift. We all know how the hostel life is now, and one guy sent a gift. Who is this? And I feel like the lady should have had one or two friends that were like, he has sent you a gift. We go love, So just to add that little bit of spice, but all in all, I feel like they did a very good job with the location. Now let's talk about the production design. The production design was actually spot on the money. Talking about how they created a scene in a bus. They did a scene in a bus. They shot another one in the night, and it was lit perfectly. They had the lagoon front at the background, with and the voice was smooth there. So it just sold that love story, that love scene to us, and then it now showed different other places in the story, different other places where they had very perfect choice of location. Even the shot. Let me talk about the shot. This cinematographer that did this too, I would give him a very big thumbs up, because the ad opened with an aerial shot of the bus and people and students actually entering the lecture hall. So it just opened with that gives you a feel that, okay, I'm in school, and then it just all the shots after that, when they went to the NYSC and all those things, all of them just added to the storyline and made it quite something that you would want to watch, and it actually compel the target audience to patronize the brand.
Target audience is actually the youth at large, and everybody gets to plan for things in shortest form, because let's say, okay, they want to plan for Christmas, or they want to plan for something of a 5-year or 10-year dream or something like that. So it's actually just very, very catchy for the target audience.
Anyone that watches this ad now will be opening Play Store looking for PiggyVest, and trying to install it, because I feel like they did a very good one in sending the call to action without saying the call to action. Which also now reiterates all the things I've been saying, that you need to show rather than tell. You need to tell them to download the app without telling them to download the app. All right, that is the way you can tell them to download the app without telling them to download the app, is to tell them the benefits, things that they would benefit from using the app. All right, things that they would benefit from using the app that they obviously do not have now, and then that would benefit them and make their life easy. Obviously everyone wants to be able to save, and have their money somewhere, and they know that money is safe there, and then they can be able to be putting it there, let them be saving it there, and then after a point in time they can have that money to use it to do something, maybe rent, maybe like in this case now, plan for a wedding, maybe used to help maybe your parents, plan for a child, all these things. It just shows that they can be able to save. So show the message rather than tell the message. Show the call to action rather than tell the call to action. And I think this video ad did that perfectly well.